Hey everybody, today's video is sponsored by Keeps. Now, Keeps helps guys get out of their own way. As men, we tend to wait till it's too late to deal with things. And when it comes to hair loss, that's not a good plan. And that's where Keeps comes in. The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. You used to have to go to the doctor's office for your hair loss prescription. Now, thanks to Keeps, you can visit the doctor online and get hair loss medication delivered right to your home. They make it easy and deliver your medication every 3 months so you can say goodbye to the pharmacy checkout lines and awkward doctor visits. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors and why nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. So if you notice yourself starting to lose your hair, it's time to do something about it. Visit keeps.com/SSR. They've got a special promotion for you if you click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/SSR. It's time to do something about that hair loss before it's too late. Good news, the stars have aligned and that Corvette is finally going to get the hood fixed. Hood's been here for a while, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about modified cars like this one because I've got a new series coming up on the channel called Sorted. It's similar to like the project car challenges that I've done, but we're using your cars. Now we have an all-star cast. It's myself. I don't want to say like, I'm not an all-star, but the other guys on there are all-stars. We've got Matt Farah of the Smoking Tire, longtime friend. We've got Amelia Hartford, who has a Corvette like this, and she's doing exactly what I did, which is taking a perfectly good car and ruining it by slapping turbos on it and breaking it and putting new engines in it. You know, we all learn our lessons, but it's an addiction. And we also have professional race car driver Tanner Faust. And what do we all have in common? Well, we're all hosting a show, and we like driving fun cars. And I don't care who you are. If you're a car guy, I'm assuming this was actually done and finished, this thing's got to look pretty fun to drive. At least to me, it was very fun to drive. I made it. But I mean, there's cars, and you look, and you're like, cool, I want to drive that. Or like my Supra. It's like, oh, cool, I want to drive that. And all of these cars came with a philosophy. Now, modifying cars was a thing back in the day because cars weren't so fast. Let's take a stroll back in time with me. Cars weren't so fast in the 90s and 2000s, right? These are factory Ferraris. And look, you know what factory Ferraris came with? Just because they came with toolkits in the car. Look, it's a Ferrari screwdriver. You know what that means? That means they know the car is going to break on you. And these cars weren't really moddable. There were cars back in the 90s, the 3000 GT VR4, most of the DSMs were pretty moddable. The Supras, the Vipers, even the Corvettes were the ones to go to if you're going to start modifying cars. Even Lamborghinis didn't really hold big power so much. But you then move on from this. This is a little bit faster. You can still have fun with it, but it's not great. That's where the aftermarket came in, and you're like, we can make it better. So now we're going to test out if people were able to make their cars better. And the one thing you're going to lose is when you make your car better, it makes this one that comes with the screwdriver look reliable, right? Like that's the one thing. Now, this thing is arguably significantly faster in every measurable performance aspect than this, but this is reliable. And we've now started a quest to see if we can find the fastest, essentially most reliable fast car in the United States. And we're going to be doing so by holding a track event on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. The one on the East Coast is going to be September 30th at Palm Beach International Raceway. It's not open to the public. Don't bother trying to come out. There's guards at the gate and everything like that. But we are going to test 8 user-submitted cars. Now, we've already gotten from the Instagram account over 100 submissions. Fear not. Your car may be better than theirs. And we are hand-picking them. So if you have a car and you're like, you know what? Nobody's going to want my Grand National on there. We do. Like, we really do. Like, we like different cars. The one thing about Tanner, Matt, Amelia, and myself is that we like cool cars. There was 4 4th-gen Supras. So like there's going to be a Supra on there. I don't know which one I'm going to choose yet, but there's going to be a Supra on there. There's going to be an R34 Skyline on there. That was submitted. There's a big horsepower S2000. I mean, these, like, you're targeting me when you come out with like a late 90s, early 2000s car with a lot of power. I'm going to pick you. But I'm really excited to see some of these cars. There's like turbo R8s. I mean, there's some good stuff that's going to be coming up. I'll scroll through a couple of them on the bottom here. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing and I'm going to throw you on the tripod to explain different measures of performance. Now, we're not looking for the one-trick pony. So if you come with a car and you're like, my Mustang can rip a wheelie through the quarter, that's not going to work for this. Like, we're looking for fast, reliable cars, because that Mustang probably runs to the end of the quarter and then you have a golf cart tow it back to the start line. That's not what we're looking for. We're going to do a sliding scale. So we're going to be doing street ability. So we require your car to be both registered and insured to drive, because Matt, Amelia, and I will be driving your cars on the street and judging them based off of their street ability. If your car's like that and not the single most streetable thing on the planet, fear not. There's 3 other heavier weighted points, getters, I don't know what you want to call it, but we're scaling this more on the performance of the car, less on the street ability. The fact that there's so many different ways that cars are street legal in the United States, and states that have no inspection or whatever, that it's hard to like single out and say like they all have to pass smog in California. That's not really fair. But fear not. This is going to be fun. We're going to start with a speed contest, right? So we're going to see which car accelerates the fastest. And then we're going to go to a time attack lap. And this is where Tanner Faust comes in. So you can't be like, Matt's a better driver than Rob, Amelia's a better driver than Matt. We're not going to play that game, right? We're just going to we're a hired foot. We got Tanner Faust, who is going to be driving each one of your cars for the metrics that matter, which is the track laps. And he is going to be doing a time attack lap in each of the 8 cars in each coast. And we will see who can put down the fastest lap. Now, why are we doing a time attack lap instead of just pulling the fastest time? Well, because a lot of cars like this has proven to be significantly quick, like very fast. However, it's got the longevity thing where it tends to overheat after a while. I think that's been solved already, and that's what happens with modified cars. You just look for the weak points and then upgrade them. And the single most trying measure of performance that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing your best 10 laps, so out of 20 minutes. So if we're doing a track that's got 2-minute laps, you're going to run a 20-minute session on your car. And when I say you, Tanner Faust is going to be running a 20-minute session. So if you think that your car is sorted and you think that you could just toss the keys over to us, obviously we're not looking to blow up people's cars. If we see the temperature creep up, we're going to back it down. We'll pull it in. It may get a DNF, but we're not looking to like set your car on fire for kicks. However, that doesn't mean that your car is as good as you think it is. Just because you drive through the canyon roads or you do this or that doesn't mean it can withstand the abuse and prove to be a proven track monster. But we will see. And if you have a car that you think would be sufficient in this measure of performance, you submit it on sortedornot.com. It's www.sortedornot.com. And we are going to select them. We're going to close the entries for the East Coast by, I would say, the 18th. That's this Friday. So if you have a car, you want to submit it, you do it by this Friday. Otherwise, for the West Coast, that's going to be filming on October 12th out in California. You've got a couple of days. Say we'll run that to about the 25th. We'll accept entries for that. But be sure to submit it. I'd like to see what you guys have. I love cars. I haven't been so excited to film something in a long time. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Auto Tempest for getting behind us on this one, because without them, this doesn't really happen. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be some killer content, and I think you guys are going to enjoy. So check out sortedornot.com. There is a link in the description. If you've got a car that you think is faster than, let's say that. If you think your car is faster than that, then you should go to that website and submit it, and we're going to find out. So you guys are familiar with my other company, Adventure Drives, right? Well, we're going to be going to Scotland in October. We're going to be doing Scotch distilleries, playing golf at St. Andrews if you want to do that, walking around, seeing lakes, waterfalls, driving the North Coast. It's going to be an amazing trip. Prices start as low as $2,500 per person for the shorter trip in Scotland. If you're interested in going, check out the link in the description.